What was your first yes?
Maybe like 3 years ago, I hit my first $100,000 month. And as soon as I started to kind of walk and like lean more onto my faith, that's when my business started to grow the most.
It was always something really weird about him. That changed my whole view of reality. Are you gonna have kids?
I want two, one for each hand.
Why is that a red flag for you?
I think they're just not being like transparent enough.
We don't want that.
Oh.
What's up, everyone? It is your favorite goddess coach, Jaylyn, back at it again with another episode of the Bag Girl Podcast, BAG, because we talk about securing the bag with mindset, money, and manifestation, okay? And today we have a very lovely guest that is gonna come and join us any second now. He's running late, so that's why you don't see him right here, but his name is Anthony Carter. He's super successful, young, black, entrepreneur, millionaire, killing it in the game, killing it in the space. I knew he had to come on here and bring his divine masculine energy, put us onto some game, but like I said, he's not here, but I got it like that, okay? I'm magical. So, we're gonna make him appear right now.
We made it.
I told y'all I know how to make magic happen. Okay.
Let's go.
Okay, so where have you been, sir?
Oh, I've been on these back-to-back meetings, on these calls, but I'm excited. I'm glad I could make it here today.
Okay, so you're Mr. Busy out here doing things and killing in the world. In Tampa, Florida.
Yes.
But you're originally not from Tampa, right?
I'm from Atlanta.
Okay, tell the people where you're from. Tell them what's
so
up.
I'm from about like 30 minutes out from Atlanta. It's called like Gwinnett, Georgia, where the Migos are from.
Okay.
Yeah, so I moved to Tampa about 3 or 4 years ago, and ever since then, I thought I was only going to be down here for about a year, and now I feel like, we just been building like an empire down here. So I moved down. 3 of my other team members all live down here in Tampa, so I'm loving it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, tell the people about this empire, because before you got here, I was talking about you in a good way. I was shining a good light on you. I said, you were out here killing it in business, that you were doing your thing. And let's specifically dive into, like, what is it that you do? Because when I think about you, I'm like, I don't know how to really... It's not like you're an e-com person. It's not like you're, selling a particular product. I would say more of a service, right?
Yeah.
So tell them about what it is you do.
Yeah, so we work with a lot of like course creators, coaches, online service businesses too. So like most people, they come to me and they're just like, hey, I'm looking to generate more leads for my business, close more deals. So we come in as like an overall growth partner. So we'll run like Facebook ads, Instagram ads, Google, YouTube, Snapchat, TikTok, all these ad platforms. And then when my clients get so many leads, we like automate their sales process. Okay. So we bring in like sales reps to take like their phone calls. Long story short, I just make people money online.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How long have you been doing that?
Last 4 years I've been doing it. I actually started off doing e-commerce, like you were saying.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah, we used to sell a lot of like skincare products, health and wellness. Have you heard of CMOS before?
Yes.
CMOS? Yeah. So we got like a family CMOS business in Atlanta. It's where like the warehouse is. Yeah, it popped off during COVID. We scaled it to do like multi-7 figures during COVID.
Okay.
And the opportunity I saw was just like health and wellness was like the trend, and everyone wanted more vitamins and minerals. So you
were doing like the e-com thing. You didn't tell me that. I didn't even know that.
I used to do e-com. That's how we made like all of our money at first, was all through e-com. Yeah.
So, and when you say we, who are you referring to?
My old partners. So I used to work for like another agency. We scaled that thing up. It was like a bunch of skincare brands. That was like the best one for us to work with. But yeah, scaling up e-commerce is like completely different from what we do now, because as you start to make money with like a skincare product, you got to know how to like fulfill on it. So most people, they have an issue at first of like marketing and sales. But what happens when marketing and sales goes well? You got to fulfill, because now people make purchases. You got to actually send it out. So when your brand is getting a whole bunch of purchases, most founders that are beginners, they don't really know how to like manage a whole warehouse, for example, and fulfill. So like, we would always end up losing out on clients after we like did our job, because they couldn't fulfill on all the orders we would bring them in.
So what made you pivot from there to doing what you do now, the social closing thing and stuff like that?
Yeah, I just kind of realized that like what my main strong suits were was really around just like the sales side and like more high ticket offers. And I saw an opportunity where a lot of people were experts in what they did and they wanted to monetize it online. So a lot of my clients that were doing like e-commerce, like I have a client, his name is Daryl Spencer. The name of the brand is called King's Crowning. And he came to us, he was doing like $2,000 a month for his e-commerce brand. And we scaled it up. It was doing over $100,000 a month. So he's like, I want to teach other people how to do this too as well. And I was like, that's even easier. I don't have to worry about like showing people how to manage a warehouse. It's real simple.
So basically helping other people scale, that's something you kind of just like resonated with more.
Exactly.
And being less involved from like the actual e-com side of fulfillment side of things.
Yeah, because I love sales. Like my background is really like high ticket sales. So selling something that is like a premium service, whether if it's something for, you know, anywhere between like $3,000 up to like $100K, like an offer. Yeah.
Okay, that's something I want to talk about.
Yeah.
So I literally just made a video talking about why it's important to charge accordingly for your services.
Yes.
I don't know if you know about what my niche is and stuff like that, but in the spirituality niche, the girls be so scared to charge and be so scared to like step into the high ticket realm. Can we talk about what high ticket is? How can we get there? How can we step into that premium energy?
Yes.
And what's the benefit of that?
Yes. I feel like some people, they even, like when you're starting off trying to sell something more premium, they have a limited mindset belief of one, like they have their own money in their bank account. So they think that the amount that they're selling is like the same amount of what they're selling to like the client or like the customer, you know? So I like to say that you can only get paid what you pitch.
Right.
So when I was trying to sell like my first $30,000 package, I told myself like, why haven't I never sold anything for $30K?
Yeah.
Because I never pitched it.
Yeah.
You know, what's the highest thing you ever pitched before?
Highest?
Yeah.
Recently it was somewhere between like 50 to 100.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, you
And
know,
I was shaking. I was like, oh! I was like, oh my goodness, are we doing this?
Yeah, so, you know, you got to get those prices up. And people don't realize, like, your price is also your brand, too. So it's actually, you know, I've seen that it's almost easier to sell something at 50 and 100K than it is to sell something at $1,000. If not, the sales process is just about the same. If not, like, harder to sell someone on something for $1,000. So,
And why do you think that is?
It's the person's mindset. You know, if you're selling someone something for 50 or 100K, like they already have like a different perceived value because of the price. They're like, all right, well, if it's something higher ticketed, like it has to work better than something at $1,000 too. You know, it's kind of like, let's just say there's a worst case scenario, right? Let's say there's a doctor and somebody's sick, and I mean, there's two doctors and somebody's sick. One doctor's like, hey, I can help fix your heart for $500. And the other doctor's like, I can help fix your heart for $50,000.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, which doctor do you want to go to?
I'm gonna be like, hold on a second, this guy about to kill my ass. So basically, we're telling the girls that premium allows you to position yourself as the authority in your particular market and niche. So I know, so you've never had that issue ever of like, when you start like raising prices and stuff, it was just always natural for you?
No, it was not. It was not. I was actually just thinking that I just couldn't do it. Like it was all my mindset. That's what it all comes down to. Even when you're selling like a 50K, 100K package, you know, you were just telling yourself like, this is what the value is, you know? So when you get even more confident and you start seeing like over time, like I've seen how many lives you've been able to impact. And you start looking like, wait a minute, I just helped this person do that and they took my information and now they're a millionaire. You know, it's like, all right, well, am I going to charge $1,000 to make someone a millionaire?
No.
Doesn't make sense. So it also comes down from like your craft, right? I like to say people who are amazing at sales, they're bad at marketing. And the people who are good at marketing, they're bad at making a good offer. So if you can make your offer and product really good, then it makes marketing and sales a lot easier.
Okay, I like that. I like that. Okay, girls. And dudes, whoever watching this video, charge your worth, know your value. All right? But I want to get into really the heart of where you started. Like, I want to know what you had going on even before the ecom, because I know a little bit. I know you said you used to like do parties and you used to go to school. So tell me about like that part of your life.
Yeah. It was so I used to do all of like the top events in like the greater North Atlanta area. So I would have like parties, and I was never like a party person, but I knew how to get people to an event and create like major like FOMO. So what I would do is I would just go on Instagram and I would DM people my flyer for my events. So I would spend all day, I would DM like thousands of people, and then I would have a whole team that would just send out DMs, and then, you know, every single time we'd have an event, we'll have like at least like 1,000 people show up.
Wow.
So I started doing that. I was just doing parties in Atlanta. And then I was like, all right, I got to take this to the next level. Yeah. So that's when I ended up doing like my first concert. It had like a little over 2,300 people.
Wait, you was rapping?
No, it wasn't me.
Yeah.
I was about to say, run the clip.
No, I wasn't rapping, you know. I do a little song, but you know.
You can do a little song?
Yeah.
You want to do a little song now?
Nah, not right now. I be charging my fee. It's high ticket. It's $50K for a show.
We will sit here. I will sit here and do a box, like a beatbox right now.
Yeah.
2 bars.
No, yeah. So, but like, I was just doing those parties and the events and stuff. It was going well, and then like COVID hit. Yeah. Yeah, and I was like, I can't do any more parties or events. Each one always have like at least 1,000 people there. But I was like, all right, I could do something a lot more than like parties and events. Like it's kind of similar like the way I still do my stuff right now. Like a party, like I view it as like an offer. Like what are you offering to like the audience of people? Like what do they want? And the thing that I knew that people wanted was like free drinks. They wanted like, you know, it's simple to sell a party. It's very simple. It's just more about like the more people that know about it and having a good offer, then people actually show up. So it's the same thing for your business. But if nobody knows about like what you sell and what's going on, you can't sell it.
So finding the things that are basically enticing to the people that you want.
And just showing it off and putting yourself out there.
Yeah, it's simple.
Okay, we like that.
I like to say like simplicity scales. You don't have to overcomplicate stuff. Yeah. I think people get stuck in their head around like, oh, I need a website, or oh, I need this, and you know, you really don't need that much stuff to like make money online. You just need something to sell.
And you gotta show up.
Yeah,
you gotta show up, y'all. You can't be scared. A lot of y'all. A lot of people that I know, they'll have a product that they're selling. Yeah. And then I go on their social media and I see that they only posted like 2 times. They don't talk about their product. And then they'll be like, I don't get sales, and maybe it's my website. I'm like, girl, it's because you're not talking about what it is you're selling and stuff of that nature.
They're not showing up. And then another thing is sometimes people, when they post, they're like, oh, I don't want to keep on posting about it. But like how the algorithm works on Instagram and all these platforms, like you can post it, but like only 5% of your audience even saw it. Yeah. So you might think you're promoting too much, but like someone's gonna be like, oh, I didn't even know that you even had that. Like, I'm posting about it all the time. So,
I also want to talk about that from the standpoint of like going back to your time in Atlanta and stuff like that. Yeah. I know you. What school did you go to again?
For college or high school?
College.
For college, I went to Morehouse. I'm Morehouse man.
Okay.
Yeah. So
So what are your thoughts on college and school and entrepreneurship? Because one side we hear people saying, you know, college is like whatever, we shouldn't do it, like just go start a business. And then the other side people are saying, no, you should get it just to have it, whatever the case is. What are your personal thoughts on that?
I would definitely say like if you're gonna go to college, it has to be something where you have to go to college in order to like get the result that you're looking for. So for example, like a doctor, you have to go to college if you're a doctor. I think accounting too. I don't know too much about accounting, but you want to be a doctor or like something like high level like that, where it's like you have to go to college, then do it. But a lot of times these colleges is really just like it's a waste of time and money. Because like an offer for college is like, Morehouse was like $40,000 a year. Did you go to school? Go to college?
I did for a little bit. I dropped out in 2020.
What was the tuition a year?
It was expensive.
Expensive.
Yeah, I was in California.
Yeah.
Yeah, LMU. It was probably like 60, 70.
A year?
Yes.
See. And it's like, they don't even guarantee you nothing, you know?
Yeah.
And it takes 4 years.
Yeah.
So now there's like all these other offers like online where, you know, you can learn something for 3 months.
Yeah.
And, you know, you're not spending $65,000 to learn versus like $65K a year for the next 4 years. You're not even guaranteed anything.
So you were in business while you were at school?
Yeah. My whole goal, my goal in college was like to drop out. That was like my goal. I was like, I want to be a college dropout.
I saw a post you made one time. It's gone now.
Yeah.
You are really famous for deleting. He deletes his whole feed and then brings it back again. Like you interesting when it comes to that. We're gonna talk about it too. But so while you were in school, you were running your business, and I'm guessing you did start to see like some results and stuff. While you were
by the time I graduated, I had 3 of my professors on a monthly retainer pay me $5K each.
What?
So I already had $15K a month going in. Yeah.
Your professors?
Yeah.
Dude, what was he doing?
They did like online courses, coaching, like I was selling them websites, email. Yeah, I was hustling. Yeah. One of my
Wow, not him going to college and hiring his professors.
Oh yeah.
That's different.
I took an entrepreneur class.
Wow.
And I actually closed that teacher on helping them start their first business.
What?
Because I asked the teacher, I was all like, so you're an entrepreneur professor, right? I was like, what's been the biggest thing you've done like in business? And this is where it all clicked to me, where I was like, I gotta get out of school, right? They're like, oh, the biggest thing I've ever done in business was actually this class teaching entrepreneurship.
What?
Yeah, that's what college is.
He didn't have a business?
No. Well, she didn't have.
Oh, she didn't have a business? Yeah. What? Why is she teaching entrepreneurship?
Yeah. So they had us like study like vocabulary around like what's the definition of an entrepreneur? Like what's the definition of this? It was like
what?
Pointless. Yeah.
That's crazy. I'm still shook. Yeah. Not you closing the professor at school. But you finished, right?
Yeah, I finished.
So what made you like get the actual degree and go through the whole process?
It was too late.
Okay.
Like by the time it was time to graduate, I had like 1 year left. My parents, they invested a ton of money into my education. Like we were like 100K plus in. And I figured out how to automate college. Because when I started learning more like automations and systems for business, I was like, why am I even doing this work when I can hire a virtual assistant to do it for me? So I started having my VA like do all my schoolwork. Because it's all online, all the answers, because it was during COVID. So everything was online.
Wow.
But that's the one thing, like once COVID really hit, I was able to like just take a step back from like being in the motion. You know, when you're in school, when you're in classes and everything, you're always doing work, you're always doing this, you're going to the next thing. But when COVID happened, like the world kind of froze, and I was able to like examine what was going on, and it gave me more time to like think outside the box.
Yeah. 2020 was something else for a lot of people.
Folks started doing random stuff too.
Yeah.
Like, I started walking around the neighborhood. I never walked. You know, like just. It was crazy. Did you pick up like any like COVID like hobbies? Any
COVID hobbies, like pandemic hobbies. Honestly, 2020 and like COVID specifically, that's when I actually started my first business. Like e-com wise. I came home and I tried to do the online school thing, and I was like, no. Like I already did not like school. I never really liked school. It was never something that I just enjoyed. It didn't come easily for me. So by the time that happened and we was trying to do the whole online thing, I was like, absolutely not. Like this does not even resonate with me at all. Like it's even worse. So I kind of like I said I was going to take a leave of absence, but I never came back.
That was my goal.
But I started my own business after that. I came home. I was like, okay, well, I don't want to just not do anything. Like I like business. I saw my mom being an entrepreneur growing up, and my dad just always been that kind of person, just like go get it. So I started my first business, and that's when I made like my first 6 figures online and stuff. I was like, do my little thing.
No, I hear you. So what was the first business?
It was a crystal shop.
Crystal shop.
Yeah, like you see this right here.
Oh, nice. Did you put it on Etsy? Because I know stuff like that on Etsy performs well too.
No, I had a Shopify store.
Shopify,
I had a Shopify store. Sold it straight from Shopify. and just started having fun. Like, I honestly love doing the creative and coming up with different videos and stuff.
Yeah.
It just felt fun to me. So just the idea of just making, I guess, marketing, like really getting people attracted to something and like figuring out different ways to entice people and to make fun videos and stuff. I loved it.
Yeah. Did you ever run any ads, or was it like just straight organic?
I ran some Facebook ads. I started off all organic, and then it was really my ex at the time too. He was like, I say shout out to the men of my life, like all the guys I've dated and stuff. They were always the ones that said, go do it. Because when I first started, I was like, no way, like I can't start a business. Like what? No one's gonna buy it. It was always like the exes that were like, no, you gotta do it, just do it. Yeah. So I low-key started that business with him. He was definitely running ads and stuff, and I was doing a lot of organic work. Nice.
That's what's up. That's important though. You need those people in your life.
Yes.
I like to say, like, most people only got like 2 or 3 people that believe in them too. Yeah. So when there's that extra person, just take off. And that goes back to like the party stuff that I was doing. My girlfriend, she told me, she looked me in the eyes, she said, you can do a whole lot more than this. Yeah. And it hit me. It was like, I thought I was doing something, you know, at the time. Yeah. You know, I was making a few $1,000 and, you know, sometimes other folks were like, yo, that's really good. I thought I was on top of the world until I came across like this group of like younger entrepreneurs, because I was like 21 at the time. These guys were 19 and they're making 100, 200, 300K a month.
There we go.
Yeah, and I'm all like, I thought I was doing something, you know, like I thought I was doing something. So yeah.
So let's talk about that. You said you got a little boo thing. You got a girlfriend, y'all. But you just told me that she's not gonna be a girlfriend no more.
Oh yeah. By the time this video probably goes up, I'll be engaged with my fiance.
What you about to do? Tell her what you about to do.
So we're gonna fly out to Greece. I got everything already planned out. Maybe we'll throw in a clip or something. We'll see. But we're gonna go out to Greece, propose, and then just hang out for about a week. Hit up Italy too as well, because that's where her family's from too as well. So yeah.
Yeah, I want to go for my birthday.
That's what I'm saying. I'm excited.
Yes. Yeah. So tell us how that all started. So did you meet her while you were in school, like in college?
Yeah. So I was 18. We're both 18, but she was a senior in high school. So we've been together since she was in high school. I was a freshman in college.
Aww. Yeah. Really? A freshman? You were in a relationship?
Yeah. That was crazy. We met the dumbest way too. Like I had a crush on her for like the longest time. But, like I was a little shy. Like I'm never shy with people though. Like I'm not shy, but with her, like I was too scared to like meet her in person.
What?
Yeah, I was like, so she worked at like the Cold Stone Creamery by my house. Yeah. So like I would drive past her all the time, but I would never go inside. Yeah.
Cause you knew she was there.
Yeah, I knew she was there. I was like, nah, I'm never going inside. And then she Snapchatted me and she invited me to a party one night.
Okay.
I was all like, all right, I was like, all right, let me go. And when I pulled up, it was like 4 or 5 other guys there, and they all told me, yeah, Michelle invited me too. That's her name. So I was like, damn, like I thought I was special, you know? I thought I was special. Like she was 5 other guys there at the party, and then I was like, all right, I'm not playing around. So the cops came to the party. Oh no. Yeah, and I was all like, jump on my back. Oh. Yeah, and I carried her, and I started carrying her. We ran to my car, and then, yeah.
So you swooped in.
Yeah, we've been together ever since then. Basically.
Really? So when was that? What year was that?
That was like 2017.
2017. Yeah. So you mean to tell me throughout college?
No, actually 2016. Yeah,
2016. Yeah. So when you were a freshman all the way to a senior, you guys were together that whole time.
Oh, nah. So like we had some breakups, some bad breakups. Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, really like just me. It was really just me mainly. You know, like I was just so young, and in the back of my head, like I felt like she was the one. But there was also that side where it was like, I'm just so young, like I haven't really talked to that many people or anything like that. Like what else is out there? And, just being young-minded. And that was actually when I would talk to other folks and we would break up and just like all that. Like that was when I was the brokest too, because I wasn't focused.
Right.
You know, I was just all over the place. But
Right.
yeah, we definitely had some real breakups.
Some real breakups?
Yeah, some real
How many times you broke up?
We don't even be counting. It's been a minute. Yeah, we had some good amount. It has not always been perfect, but
Okay,
yeah.
so like, how do you get through that? And first of all, you're like an entrepreneur, you're in school, doing a lot. Like, how did you manage to have a relationship and also at the same time to do your business? And how are you doing that to this day?
Yeah. I would say, she was always today, like she's very supportive, and she actually like oversees like my fulfillment team for my business. So she works inside of it. So it's not like, she understands why I'm busy because we're working together. Right. It's very, very powerful when you got someone that can like be your left hand that's trusted too. Because I've had partners in business that like took advantage of things, just like bad partnerships. Like when you go into business with somebody, you want to have someone that you can like trust. You know, and she's someone that's always been there. She understands the business model and she's loyal. You know, so it's powerful. But I would say like in college, like I haven't always been like this. Like I was just all over the place. I wasn't making that much money. I was distracted. I was, just literally just like all over the place.
You was wilding.
So, yeah, I was
You was being a little flirty?
I wasn't perfect. I was not perfect. Like social media stuff, like, the little things that were just like, for me, I didn't view certain shit as like bad when I was like younger, like liking other girls' photos and stuff like that. Like, for me, I was like, I'm just liking a picture, but like, it's just a distraction anyways.
Yeah, because then they gonna see that as the invitation.
Yeah, that's what starts it all too. It starts with a like, then it's a DM,
then it's a DM, then it's a pull up, then it's a meet up, then it's a drink, then it's a
Yep.
And then you slip and fall into some
Yeah. Yeah, so I didn't even look at stuff like that. You know? And it's all a distraction anyways.
Yeah.
It's a waste of time.
So I noticed that a lot of entrepreneurs, they seem to always, a lot of them are very committed, like commitment oriented people. Yeah. People that value relationships, and they usually, especially the men, they usually have either a wife or a girlfriend or somebody that's really that person for them. Yeah. Do you think that is a key aspect to success, like having like a relationship romantically in that kind of way? Yeah.
I see both sides. I know some people where they're like, hey, like it's just a distraction, but I feel like those same people are just the ones that haven't met the person yet. You just haven't met the one yet, because
how do you know you meet them?
When you know?
How do you know?
Ooh, that's a good question.
How do you know?
That's a good question.
How did you know?
When did I know?
How do you know in general?
How do I know? I would say just like, that's a good question. It's a good one.
Let it sink in. Let it sink.
Yeah.
Meditate on it.
I feel like I knew that she was the one when everything just went left. And I hate how this is how I had to go down and everything, but things just went left. It wasn't good, like, breaking up, arguing and everything, and just like, during that time too as well, when we like went even more apart, that's when I really just like knew, like, all right, this is clearly the one. Like, she's the only one that actually like really gets me, understands me, like everything.
So you had to have kind of a space of absence and separation.
Yeah.
I mean, they say absence makes the heart grow fonder.
Yeah. There's some folks, they don't ever break up. It's all perfect for them. But, I say that, like, relationships are just different. You can't look at other people's relationship online. You can't look at mine. You can't look at hers. Nobody's relationship. Everyone has, like, their own stuff inside of the relationship. And I just try to be transparent. It wasn't always perfect. I wasn't always perfect, but I can definitely say right now I'm perfect.
You're doing what you need to do. So how do you treat a woman correctly? Because most of my audience, probably like 90% of the people here are women and stuff like that. So, we have some single ladies in the building. What should they be looking for in a guy?
I would say look at the relationship with their mom. I feel like that's pretty important, or even look at like the way that their dad treats their mom. too as well. You know, those are some good signs to look at. Like my parents, they've been together for like 30 plus years.
Wow.
You know, so I was really able to see like the way that he treats my mom, treats like, you know, her as a woman. So also like that's one of the biggest things to look at is like their relationships with their parents, how the parents do it, because that stuff will get passed down.
Right.
You know, if someone grew up in like a household where it wasn't really shown too much, you know, they might not know exactly what to do.
Right.
Right. And then I would say like even previous relationships too, that kind of helped, because, you know, I know we've been together for so long, but like even in high school when I was in relationships and stuff, like it taught me a lot, like what girls like, what they don't like, you know, going through that trial and error. But I try to treat her like, you know, it's like my father treats my mom. You know? So
what does that look like?
What does that look like?
Yeah.
I'd say, you know, spoiling, you know, I like to spoil my girl, but also just like outside of that, just like having someone that actually listens. You know, that's very, very key is listening to somebody's problem, being that support person, like no matter what. Because now that I'm gonna be engaged and everything, it's like it's a whole another level, and I'm excited for the blessings to come in. But it's a whole another level because you're with that person like through thick and thin. Yeah. Like even when they get sick, you know, during COVID, she got sick, you know, I got sick. You gotta be able to take care of each other outside of like when everything is going good only, you know, because there is gonna be those days where, you know, you're not good, you know, I could, God forbid, you know, I end up losing the whole business and now like I'm down on my butt. Like she's been there with me, you know, through the ugly side. And sometimes we get in relationships and it's only the good times. Yeah. And then when something goes bad, you know, you end up losing the girl, you lose the guy. The other things are going bad. You know? So people say that money kind of shows like someone's like real intentions and everything, but I think it's the opposite. You know, like when you lose it all, you're gonna see people's real intentions too.
Okay.
You know?
Okay.
It's like, what are you gonna do when you're down bad?
Right.
It kind of exposes people.
Yeah, and sees like, are they really there for you at the end of the day?
Yeah.
Okay, so that brings up an interesting little thing, because right now people are talking about like money a lot. Like right now, I don't know if you see just in the femininity, masculinity, there's like this little thing going on where people are like, no, like they're the prize, I'm the prize.
Oh my God.
You should be providing for me, I'm whatever. No, you shouldn't, and da da da. What are your thoughts when it comes to that? Like in a relationship, when it comes to providing, the idea of that, especially as like a person who's successful and stuff like that, do you think that women should expect a dude to provide? Do you believe that at the end of the day, she should be with you even if you don't have money and stuff like that? Yeah. What are your thoughts on that?
I feel like in the beginning, like, because I started dating, like this is back in high school, so like we're grown now. You know, back then it was like, I mean, money doesn't even matter, right? At the end of the day, we're all broke. Yeah. Right? But when you get older, like, I don't even think that you should be going on dates if you don't got money. Yeah. You should just be focusing on stacking up like your bread and just staying completely focused. Men and women. Yeah, men and women, really. But I'm a provider. Like it comes back from my dad. Like my mom, she's been a stay-at-home mom for like, she hasn't had a job in like 30 years.
Your mom loves you too. She talks so good about you.
Oh yeah, she's Raven fan. My mom loves me. My dad's been providing for her for the last 30 years, and you know, I definitely think it's a man's responsibility, you know, to provide. I don't even feel comfortable like doing that.
So you wouldn't like if somebody like bought you a house?
I would. Yeah, I wouldn't be against it. You can do that. If you're watching, you can do that. But there was a time like when I moved down to Tampa, like my girl was actually, she's a boss herself. Like she was making more money than I was. Yeah. She was making $1,000 a day. She had she had 2 businesses at the time. You know? She had a hair care business, and then she had a credit business. So both of those things were making, you know, $1,000 a day. So that was when we first moved down to Tampa. She was making good money. It was weird though. I didn't like it. Why? You know, because I'm a provider. I want to be the boss. You know, like it's just my trait.
Did that ever affect your relationship, or was it just kind of like a moment that you knew was temporary?
It was just like a temporary month. It wasn't that long. It was a good month for her, you know. It was a good month. Yeah. I turned up again.
He said, you had 1 month.
You had a month.
You know what I'm
the
saying?
thing is, I set up these businesses, right? This is where she got me, right? I set up these businesses. Like,
Yeah.
I literally created the offer for her. I made all like the marketing material, the sales material. All she had to do was like read off the scripts, right?
Okay.
I made everything for her. And then she started making the money, and I was trying to tell her what to do with the business. She's like, "This is my business. Tell me what to do." And I'm like, "I set this up." Yeah, and I was like, "All right, watch this. Let me turn myself around." You know?
Okay, so then you started turning up. When would you say you had a moment where you started really seeing? You know, everybody has their first initial goal of like 10K or 100K. What is your thing? Like, what was your first like yes?
Yeah, my first yes was just knowing the difference between like revenue and like profit. You know what I mean? It's two different things because 2.5, like almost maybe like 3 years ago, I hit my first $100,000 month. Mm-hmm. 3 years ago. But here's the thing: it wasn't profit.
Yeah.
You know, $100,000 a month. I paid myself $5,000. But you got everybody clapping. You know, you make the social media posts, have my first 100K month, but like behind the scene, like you only paying yourself $5,000 is what I paid myself. So my overhead in that business was 100K a month. Yeah. You know, so we make it 100K, we're generating 100K in revenue, but our expenses are 100K. Yeah. So we left with like nothing.
I feel you when it comes to that, child.
Yeah. So we had like a content studio down in Tampa. We had some like huge clients, like some big clients. We took a business 500K a year to 5 million. Like we were really cranking out some crazy numbers. We had clients paying us like 20 and 30K a month from clients. And, you know, we lost our largest client. And when we lost them, like we basically lost our business because that client was paying us so much money. So my overhead at the time was about like 100K a month. So business started going in debt and we had to shut down shop and everything. So it was crazy. But I would say like I first started seeing those wins when I lost that business and I had to kind of go back to like the beginning. Like, all right, let me figure out something. And that's when everyone already knew me. Like I had a good amount of people knowing me for like marketing. So I would just get like a bunch of texts on my phone. People just randomly hit me up because I already had like a good amount of like word of mouth out there. So people kept hitting me up for marketing services, and then I would just give it over to my partner and he would like fulfill it. So that's when I was like, oh wait, like we just did like 60K last month and it was like 50% profit margins. I'm doing less work, but I'm making more, less revenue, but more profit. So just because you're doing 100K a month doesn't mean it's always good. It's like how much you taking home at the end.
So you want to really focus on you taking home 100K.
Yeah.
Right.
And when you go from $1 million to 3 million, for example, like that's when a lot of like business owners, they get even more stressed because you were just doing $1 million, you're having good like margins, good profit. When you go to 3 million, like a lot of times, like most people, they're making even less money when they're doing 3 million in revenue. So now it's like my business has 3 times the amount of headache, but I'm not even making 3 times the amount of money.
So what caused you to fix that problem? Because let me tell you, I've been through that. It's not fun. You be feeling like, dang, like I'm making all this money, but where is it at?
Yeah.
But and I know this is a thing that a lot of entrepreneurs go through that most people don't even talk about at all, right? Yeah. So how did you solve the problem? Like, did you look at things? Did you really start to scale and like think about, okay, what can I do? Like what was the point in life that you like made that decision to change it?
Really when the whole thing like shut down. So in that previous business, I had 6 partners. Yeah. So we had 6 people owning the business.
And you split the bread all up.
Yeah, exactly. So imagine that crystal business,
right?
You got 6 people splitting it. So I started doing the math. I was like, damn, just for me to like bring in $1 million profit, I think we had to do like 50 million for me to make $1 million profit myself. Yeah. Okay. And I was all like, I don't really see me doing 50 million right now. Like, you know, like, sky's the limit, but shit, I'm far from it. Yeah. So when that business shut down, like it kind of forced me to grow. Okay. You know, and sometimes you gotta be like have that external force. Like I had no choice. I was already down in Tampa. I lost the business. So I was like, all right, I got to figure out something. I got to do something. And then that's where I ended up restructuring stuff. And one thing I go by right now is instead of like, we used to try to have like the most clients because we run like a marketing agency. We used to try to have the most clients. And now we're like, all right, we just have like the best clients.
Okay.
Because like if you have 50 clients paying you $1,000.
Yeah.
That's $50,000, but you're working with 50 people.
That's a lot of people.
But if you have 2 clients paying you $25K.
Here we go.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, exactly. So I've been living off of that a lot, just restructuring things and, just being focused on like profit.
Yes.
That's all that matters.
Yeah, because you be talking pretty spicy. If you follow him on Instagram, we're going to put his Instagram here.
Oh, yeah.
But you be talking spicy on your stories.
Oh, what you mean?
You be talking spicy. You be sounding like you coming at people's neck.
Oh, a little bit. With what? With what is that?
You be like, these people be scamming.
Oh,
or they be pretending. Or how you going to sell a product and you don't even sell it. Talk about that.
These online, the gurus.
Yeah, the gurus.
Yeah, I'll get like, because we work with like a good amount of coaches, right? So like you guys probably see those people online that have like Airbnb coaching programs or Turo coaching programs, but they might only have like one car on Turo, the car rental platform. Or 3 weeks ago, a lady booked with us. She's an Airbnb coach. Yeah. Guess how many properties she owns?
1.
Nah.
How many?
0. Yeah, and she's looking to start like a program around like how to get into Airbnb, and I'm telling her, I'm like,
so then how does she know?
Exactly. She's all like, well, I'm gonna find out. I'm gonna get people's money, and I'm gonna start my own Airbnb from like pretend like I teach them.
She told you that?
Yeah, it's a real thing. So like those people, they book with us all the time, trying to like,
How often?
All the time. Like it's a hot market. Like I hear the craziest stories being a marketing partner. Like,
wow.
Yeah, I hear about people getting like scammed online, like craziest stuff. Yeah,
So what do you tell that person while you're on that sales call? Like, what do you tell them?
They get mad. They get mad. I'm like, you shouldn't do that. Like, you should probably just focus on, doing yourself first, and then, naturally people are gonna want to learn from you, but you don't need to start like a program.
With something that you don't even do.
Yeah, but people fall for it all the time online.
Yeah.
They're like, you can help me. And
she didn't even have a property at all, and she wanted to make a whole Airbnb program.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yo, that's insane. She got like guts.
Yeah. And she was mad at me. She was like, I'll go to somebody else.
Why was she mad at you?
Yeah, because I was like, I'm not going to help you. Like, I can't help you do that.
Okay. So that's also another important lesson too when it comes to entrepreneurship. Yeah. Knowing how to be selective and knowing that not all money is good money.
No, it's not.
Where did that come from?
It's
that
not.
Compass.
Trial and error. Like, needing some money or just like trying to hit certain revenue goals and still taking on somebody, and then you get the cash collected and it's like, all right, well, I don't want to work with this person, or headache. So, one thing I even look at is like, as little as this is like, how does this, like, what's this person's diet look like?
Really?
Yeah, I'm all
like their food intake?
Is this a healthy person? Like, what are they doing on the day? Are they wild? Are they all over the place?
Yeah.
And recently we brought on somebody, and it was good money. I'm not gonna lie. Like, he was paying us like $30K a month, just this one client. So he fits the avatar and everything. But this guy would always just like get into arguments online, just like ransom, just real crazy, like all over the place.
There's a lot going on.
Yeah. So then he ended up. I ignored the signs.
Yeah.
Because it was good money and we're making good payments. And then what ended up happening was I had employees like complaining about like their experience working with the client. Yeah. So, I try to protect my employees all the time because, it messes with their mentals. Like, I'm helping a scammer. I can't help someone who has an Airbnb program with zero profit. Yeah. And then my employees are looking at me like, I'm crazy.
Looking at you like you're crazy, because then you're going to attract more of that energy.
Yeah, exactly.
And then people going to look at you sideways because you're associated with them.
Yeah, exactly.
We don't want that.
No.
So I remember we were talking before, and you were talking about how you did have previous business partners and stuff like that, where where you were like, okay, certain things happened and went down. Can we talk about that a little bit?
We can talk about it.
Let's talk about it. So what happened? Because I hear a lot of you were doing business with different people, and then you had to find your people and stuff like that. And I know you're with Tate now and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
But so how did that work? So what happened?
Yeah, so we were out in it's like one of those mastermind communities for marketing.
Mm-hmm.
So I was paying this coach, we're paying him like $36K a year to like, you know, coach us and teach us more stuff around marketing, blah, blah. It's like a community. Mm-hmm. And so I went to, where was it? Tulum. Mm-hmm. So I went out to Tulum for like the marketing mastermind, and I started meeting all these people, and it was cool. And I got approached by some people, and they were like, "We really want to partner with you." Mm-hmm. And they were telling me how like God was telling them to like do it, and like you know, because I'm faith based, you know? So they were like, God's telling us that we really want to partner. So they kind of like preyed on my faith, and we ended up partnering up with them. And, you know, their actions and their morals did not correlate with their faith. Yeah. So that was my lesson learned. Like, people will use like faith in like whatever you believe in sometimes is like a strategy. You know, like, oh, you know, I'm a Christian too, and behind doors, like it's
not the same energy.
You know, it's just a strategy for some people.
So they use Christianity as a strategy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I was thinking, like, God's telling y'all, let's do it, you know, like.
If God's telling me to tell y'all to like this video, God said this video.
And subscribe. You gotta
subscribe to the channel, like this video. Yeah. But wait, okay, so you are, you know, a man of faith and stuff like that. How has that affected your business, your mindset, where you are currently and mentally? How has that helped you in your process with that?
I would definitely say like just like the morals and the values that come with it. So if someone isn't like a Christian or whatever, like they don't have to be for like them to work with us or anything like that. It's just like the same morals and values that come with it I've been applying it to my business. And as soon as I started to kind of walk and like lean more onto my faith, that's when my business started to grow the most too as well. So I know you're asking me earlier, like, you know, how did I kind of know that she was the one and everything? Yeah. She brought me closer to God. Like I started like getting closer to Christ and everything. And that's when my life started to change too. Yeah. Like whenever I don't know like the best next step to do, I lean on to that. I just put it all inside of there, and then I get more guidance, more clarity too.
Okay, so you pray and stuff like that? Yeah. Do you go to church, or are you like not?
I stopped going to church for a while. Like it had like a little bit bad taste in my mouth. You know?
And why is that?
You know, I'm in sales. You know, I do a lot of sales. So I started like the church I was going to. I was kind of seeing like the little sales strategies. So trying to get money out of people. And that's when I realized, you know, one, like not every church is like that. You know, I can't base my experience off of, you know, one or two churches. And, so nowadays, like, if I don't go to church, like, I feel like a little all over the place. It just kind of realigns me, and it's almost like, you know, not just only like the God aspect, but it's like the motivational piece to it. You know, you get out of church and you feel like you can do anything.
Right.
You know?
Okay, so that brings up a little interesting topic. So I know you said, you know, it felt like they were getting money and stuff like that. Yeah. Is it a bad thing for churches to want to get money?
No, I think there's a right way to do it and a wrong way to do it. But I think that they should try to get some money.
Some money? So they can't be balling? Can the pastor be balling?
I think a pastor can. But I think...
So you can have a rollie?
Ooh, it's a tricky...
Can the pastor have a chain and a rollie?
Yeah, I mean, I think pastors should know like other ways to make money like outside of like the church. Okay. You know, like yeah.
So you don't think that as basically a CEO of a church building and a church,
there's other ways to get it too. Like they can still rent out the building to like other folks. Like because church is only on Sunday.
Right.
So if you own the building, like you can make money on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. You can rent it out to people and everything. So
can the pastor be swagged out? Yes or no?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think he could. I think he should.
So you can do a little Gucci?
I probably wouldn't go to the church. It would be some red flags. Yeah. Some red flags. But
what are some red flags that you have with people in general? Because I know you, I see, you know, I look at your story and stuff, and you often talk about keeping my circle small.
Yeah, some red flag. Biggest red flag is people who are like, oh, I don't care about the money. It's not about any money. Like, you know, blah, blah, blah. Like, you know, that's one red flag.
Why is that a red flag for you?
I think they're just not being like transparent enough. Like they're saying, oh, I don't even care about it. You know, it's not about the money. And you know, every single time that's ever happened to me, that's someone that cares about the money.
They really care about it.
Because if they don't really care about the money, they don't have to even say it.
Yeah.
You know.
In terms of like doing business with you and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would say that. Because I feel like people at the same time, they think they say that because it sounds good. Because I feel like a lot of people have limiting beliefs around money.
Yep.
And they say things like, oh, yeah, I don't really care about money. I just want to, you know, do my art. I just want to do my passion.
There's two people. There's the creative side. Like creative people, I always find like creative people, they really don't be caring about the money.
They should, though.
Yeah, they should. Those are people that actually, y'all should definitely
you need to care about the money.
But there's the other side, you know, the business that I'm in, like, like, I don't care. So they care about the most.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What is another red flag with people? Like friends. Is it hard to find friends being a young, successful person? Because you just turned 25, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty young. You know, young, successful person out here. What would you say, like, is it easy to make friends? Is that even something on your radar?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I thought when I turned 25, like, I'll be grown. Like, folks would be like, I'm no longer young, but that's,
I'm about to be 25 next month.
Let's go. No, but friend-wise, I don't have like a lot of friends.
Yeah.
Especially at this age, it's kind of like, for what? Almost. For
me,
what? Yeah, like I got my friends, I got my girlfriend, but lately I've been, you know, if I even become friends with somebody, usually it's around like something business related.
It's always business related.
It's not always, but lately it has. And that's where I'm kind of like starting to take like a little bit of a step back where, you know, I forgot where I got this from, but I used to always do this until like the last few years. But I'll try to spend like 33% of my time with people doing like better than me. So like making more so I can get like their mindset and I can continue to like level up. Then I'll spend 33% of people like on the same level as me. Those are like my friendly competition. And then the other 33% are like people that aren't doing as well as me, so I can like empower them, teach them, and the best way to learn something too as well is like showing other people too. Yeah. So, you know, try to do that 30-33.
Okay, so you're cool, no new friends unless we doing business.
I like new friends, you know, if I come across somebody, but it's really rare, you know.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more rare.
Do you put yourself out there often? Like, what do you do outside of just the business world?
Oof, I'm with my girlfriend a lot.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm with my girlfriend. We're just really just locked in a lot.
Yeah.
Really locked in. But as far as new friends, I would say like church.
Yeah?
I'll meet some cool people in church. We were at the pool party yesterday for the 4th.
That's awesome.
What about you though? What about you?
Friends?
Yeah, friends. You have a lot of friends?
No.
Yeah.
I don't. But I feel like for me, it's because I don't do a lot of the things that a lot of people do. Like, I don't drink a lot. I don't really party much. So most people, they're like, okay, I want to drink. I want to party. You want to do this. I like relaxing. Like, I like going to the spa. I like traveling. Okay, if you my travel buddy, want to be a travel buddy, like going to different places and doing spiritual things. Like, I love stuff like that. But I don't often run into people who... I haven't met somebody recently where I was just like, this is somebody I'm really close to. Like, I had a person in my life.
Do you want
like
more
that.
friends?
I do.
Want some more friends?
I do.
Me
I
too.
want friends. I want a dude.
Okay.
I want my husband.
Oh.
If you're out there.
He might be watching. He's probably in the comments.
Literally, I want a husband. Like, you know, I'm about to be 25 next month, and I'm really realizing, like, you know, I think it's a little different when you're a woman. Yeah. You start thinking about your life, like, okay, 25, you know, especially I'm a business owner, want to make money and stuff, but also, like, I want to stay in my feminine. I want to maintain that. I want to be in a relationship.
Nothing wrong with that either. You need it, like,
So I'm just maneuvering that right now, like, like, what? Because for me, I know when I focus on something, I'm locked. Like, when I focus on something, when I want something, it happens. But right now, I'm in the moment where I'm like, okay, what do I want to focus on? What do I want to make my priority? And realizing, like, yeah, girl, like, you got 5 years. They ain't going to be 30. They ain't going to be 35, 40.
I didn't even look at it that way. I will be 30 in 5 years.
Yeah, you got 5 years. This is weird. This is the prime time. Okay? Like, that mid-20 era, I feel like that's a really good age.
Do you have like an age that you want to get married
Okay, so I just saw my astrologer last night, and they told me that I was going to have kids when I was like 27. Yeah, but they also
So how's
told
an astrologer work? How's that? That's the whole, we on two different.
Oh yeah, two different ways.
So how does an astrologer work? Like,
they like look at your birth chart.
where'd you find it? Is it like online? They pull up on you? Like, how does it work?
So me, I'm super into all that stuff,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
all the stars and that's just what I love. It's what resonates with me. But I've been into astrology for a long time. But we have like whole things. Like, have you ever seen something that looks like an actual birth chart? Anything that looks like this before?
Let me see. Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah. Basically, they just look at this, they read it. Just like when you come out the womb, you pop out your mom's womb, right at that time, that's when your birth chart's created. Like the exact time, the exact moment.
Yeah.
And then they take it, and then, the planets are always moving. The earth is always moving. And it's always moving around your chart. So it kind of shows you different times that certain things.
You got to keep on going to them to kind of like see what's going on.
I know how to read.
Oh, you know.
But it's cool to have it from another perspective. It's almost like having a coach in a sense. Like, yeah, I see you're probably struggling here. You probably want to do this and that X, Y, and Z. And for me, when I was always going through tough times and hard times, just to know that there was always a reason and there's a lesson there, it always helped me just get through it a lot easier.
Has it ever been like not accurate?
It's been accurate as hell for me. It's scary, low key. I almost don't like it sometimes. Like, it was one time, it was like Mars square Mars. That's usually with car accidents. Car accidents.
Mars squared Mars?
Yeah, Mars square Mars.
So it's like a math equation almost.
Yes, exact. And it went exact at 2:32. Why I did not see the thing at all. I didn't even know it was going to go exact that time. I got in a car accident at 2:30. I didn't even see it. I didn't even see it before. I looked at it after the fact.
Like later on, like after the accident?
Yes.
Oh my God.
And I was like, literally, and the thing was like, be careful with accidents. It was in my third house of cars, and this is astrology language. But I was like, that is crazy. Like, how does that even work? I actually got to a place where I was like, yeah, I don't even want to look, because sometimes you don't want to.
Exactly, I can see that. Like, that's, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You want to live your life. You want to live your life. But I do like using certain things to my advantage, where I'm like, okay, I know that I'm more likely to be, like they said in September, I enter like a window to like, find a little lover or whatever.
Do you think it, like, because I know, so this is an experience I had. It's this girl.
Yeah.
She got mad at me.
What she got mad at you by?
I didn't want
her. What?
I didn't want her.
Oh my God.
So she told me, she said, I'll put a curse on you. And then that's where like things started to go bad, like in my head though. Like I would just think like, yo, this girl like
she said I'm gonna take your hair.
So I was all like, so I'm just wondering, like, has it ever like you hear about it's gonna be better in September, so like you start almost like, does it help at all? Like, oh, okay, September, you already know it's gonna be lit, so it's like September's even extra lit. It's like it kind of double confirms it for you.
I take everything with a grain of salt. First and foremost, I believe in God, just not in the way that most people do. I believe that at the end of the day, you're always in control of your destiny, and you can always co-create with God. And like, if something's in your heart, you can have it, right? And if somebody's telling me, okay, it doesn't look like something good is good, I'll just say, okay, I feel like you can always still get through it in a way and navigate it. And I try to not let my mind fully take in any negative energy, because I feel like, obviously, if somebody told me, yep, you knocking out tomorrow, it's over for you. If you really let that sink in,
you're wrapped.
Because your mind is so powerful.
Yep.
I believe in the power of the mind. I think astrology is a tool, but it doesn't have to be the end all be all of your life. Which you see a lot of the times, you see girls are like, I'm not going to date a Sagittarius man because, they're this. Y'all doing too much.
What do they say about Pisces?
Y'all are floaty. They say y'all are floaty.
What does that mean?
Like, not solid. Sometimes they say you could be flaky. a little floaty.
You see, when I hear it too as well, it's like, wait, I could be, yeah. So.
But you have a full chart.
Yeah. Sometimes like you're like, I used to think it's too generic.
Yeah.
You ever heard that? Like it's generic.
But they don't know about charts. Everybody has this mediocre
surface level
knowing of astrology. But there's actual colleges. Like,
so what about? So how do you feel different when there's like a full moon? Because I know like the moon, like I know like people into astrology, the moon's like the moon. So
we just had a full moon.
Yeah.
Literally a couple days ago.
Yeah.
If you start to pay attention, you'll notice every full moon, when the moon is full, everything comes to a head. So if there's been something underneath the surface, boom, that argument gonna happen. Or that you're gonna say what you need to say, or you're gonna have that moment, or you have an event. Yeah. You'll notice that certain things just come to a head. Yeah. Like things will come to completion. You'll release something. People start acting a little crazy. My grandfather used to always say, like he was a psychiatrist. Mm-hmm. He said that every full moon, everybody in there, they would be acting extra wild every full moon. Because lunatic. That's why they say lunatic, like lunar energy. People literally go a little crazy when that full moon.
Because I know the moon controls like water or something.
And we made up of water.
Is that part of it? Like the water and
and we're made up of water.
We are.
We're made up of mostly water. Everything in this planet is water.
Yeah. So what do you think about like just like the galaxy? What do you think of what do you think about the galaxy?
I think the galaxy is the water. As above, so below. Like the ocean, I feel like that, you know how, the whole thing just happened, people got lost. And I honestly believe we look up to the galaxy like that's just this nothingness and everything too, but I low-key think the water is like the galaxy too. Like I low-key think the water is a whole nother thing we haven't even tapped into.
I think it's weird, like, with all the technology and everything, and we've only seen what, like 70% of the ocean or something.
Only
like
70%.
It's like 70%, yeah. So I'm like, it's got to be something deeper, like down there.
So as a Christian, you know how they say like this is it, like Earth is it, that's it. There's nothing else out there, and that's it. Do you believe that's true?
All right, I think there's something out there.
Yeah.
Right. I think there's something out there. And
aliens.
I believe in aliens. Mm-hmm. Now, with my faith, like, I'm a Christian. Yeah. Believe in God, right? Mm-hmm. But there's also sides where there's certain things that logically doesn't make sense to me. But then I feel as if, I'm just a human. So, like, some of this spiritual stuff, like, logically will never make sense to me because I'm just a human. Yeah. So I think there's aliens out there.
So you think the aliens is here? Yeah. People say like they here.
Yeah.
I actually saw an alien. That's the whole story. If you know, you know.
You saw an alien?
Yes, that's a whole story. We can't get into that right now, but it was insane.
Oh my gosh.
Literally insane in the flesh. No, I didn't take anything. Like, this is real life.
What they say? They're like, yo.
No, it was a guy I was dating, and
he was an alien?
He went all the way human, no. Literally, like, dead ass. It was crazy. And it was on the night of a full moon. But I was low-key scared, like, really scared. Like, I'll give you a small amount what happened. Like, I was looking at him. We were dating for a little bit, and it was always something really weird about him. Like, when he was in the room, something was just like...
I got this proposal coming up. Yeah, I don't want her to be an alien.
It's not an alien.
Too late. As soon as I pop it up, she's like...
They're not bad.
They're good? Oh, they're good? But what happened?
Well, some are bad, some are good. There's a whole nother world that happens on this side of town. It was crazy, though. He literally, I swear, like, on
Is he
everything.
watching it? I don't want him popping up at my house.
I swear on everything.
I don't want any smoke.
He not gonna hurt you.
I'm good.
He literally looked me in my eyes, and he was like, just look at me. You want to see something? And I was like, yeah, sure. Because I was like, whatever. I was looking at him in the eyes. And then he was like, pay attention. Next thing you know, this man's face starts changing. And I started screaming. I was yelling. I was like, then he grabbed me. And I was like, what the fuck is reality? Like, that changed my whole view of reality. I knew in that moment, oh, like, there's way more than what meets the eye with people.
You were just sober. You weren't.
I didn't drink anything. I didn't eat anything. I didn't have any mental health issues. I literally, this was real life. I swear on everything. And I was shook it. I was so scared.
I would be too. You didn't pass out?
I was yelling like, what the fuck? Like, it was insane. But I was, check out that story time on my channel.
I'm watching that. That's gonna be my Netflix tonight. Yeah.
But literally, there's things out here that we don't talk about, that people don't talk about, because if they did, like, we're not going to be able to really accept it. Like, imagine if everybody knew that there were certain things that you could do, certain spiritual gifts that you have, especially if people don't got a moral compass. And that's why I think religion really came in, because it helps you have a set of rules and regulations and guidelines for how to carry yourself and how to operate as a being, right? Because without that, sometimes, like you said, you have certain people that take matters in their own hands, and now they say, oh, I'm gonna put a curse on you and stuff like that. Yeah. And now you're giving different religions, different belief systems a bad name and a bad rep. But at the end of the day, I personally believe it's all the power of intention. Like, you can use a knife to stab somebody or to cut a piece of cake and eat it, right? So it depends on what it is that you do with your life. And
I've heard that. You know, I was kind of just didn't even understand that whole world at all. Like,
really?
I just ignored it. Like, in my head, it's just like none of that exists. Like, there's no way, and people don't even really practice like that, because you see it growing up. You see like stuff on TV, like Halloween Town and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, they have that whole side of just bad. You know, I've heard some stories.
It's crazy things. It's crazy things. It's just, so, okay, this is one last question about this. From that perspective, do you think that Black people were meant to be Christian? Like, if you think about the history of Christianity.
I can't speak on it.
No?
Only because, like, with my faith and everything, like, I'm still learning to this day everything.
Yeah.
You know, I'm still learning. I'm not the person where it's like I have fact after fact after fact. Me right now, I just know that you know, my grandma, she was always there praying for me. My mom was praying for me. My girlfriend was praying for me. And I've seen the power behind their prayers and everything. So I've never taken it to a deep enough level. But that's
your relationship with God.
Yeah. That's my next level. As I go deeper and deeper, like over the last few months, I've been going deeper. That's where like things have just been growing even more. So but on the other side, I like to do my research too as well. That's also like I'm slowly learning both sides of everything. But I think one thing is the way that you're raised kind of goes back to like I was telling earlier about the way my dad treated my mom, like those same things in my household got carried down. Yeah. You know, so it's like, where did all this stuff get carried down from? Like faith and everything. So it's deeper. It's a deep topic, but I just personally, I haven't done enough research. But
you said, look, I'm liking it. I'm loving it.
All I know is I said, why not? It's working. It's what's been blessing me and my family, and it's who I am. Yeah. So I want to take it to another level, though. Take it to another level. That's why when you say stuff like that, it's so interesting. It's like you study it.
I love it. Like, I love stuff like that. That's
you know it on a whole nother level. You ain't gonna set me up.
I'm not good.
No, I'm just kidding.
He's good. Everything's good. I love God. Okay, I walk with God too. Just a little unique way. Not the same path as everybody else does.
I know. That was a good question. I mean,
yeah. Like, I love goddesses and stuff too, where it's like we have these. That's what it's the goddess channel. Like, I love goddess spirituality because, you know, you look at different even figures in the Bible like Mother Mary, and I'm learning more and more about her and stuff, and hearing even how like what she actually represented, and how it's kind of like we don't really, I guess for me growing up, you know, because I grew up Christian too.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. Well, my mom, she was very Christian, and my dad, he was more like spiritual, into African spirituality. So I had I had both. They were kind of different, like both of them. So I had two different perspectives growing up. But I noticed that for the Christian side, the feminine and talking about the feminine figures in the Bible, it wasn't as talked about. Like the divine feminine, like really divinity with women. And that's why I really started getting into like, what are these goddesses from? And we all have, every culture, like whether you're white, black, Hispanic, Indian, like alien. The guy was actually black and Austrian.
Oh, he alien. Yeah.
He's a black Austrian alien.
Let me stop. I don't want any smoke.
He don't want the smoke.
If you're out there, no smoke. You got it. Don't. No. I'm not going to be in Greece next week. This video's already old.
So. The video's old.
I don't live in Tampa.
He don't live in Tampa. He's in Miami. I mean, never mind. He's somewhere else. But yeah, like I love it. That's why I love talking about it. Because for me, women empowerment, it goes deeper than just like, oh, you know, F the men. Like I don't really, that's not women empowerment for me.
Yeah.
It's really about connecting to yourself, connecting to your divinity, understanding your power as the feminine, not having to push down a man or anything like that, but just embracing your space and learning more about that, and being able to also hold that for a man and to support him in that feminine way.
Yeah, I hear you.
Right?
So with your parents, like, do they always like support like where you're currently going with all this stuff? Yeah,
like I would say my parents, I was lucky. I was very lucky. My parents were always the kind of people that were like, okay, what do you want to do? Especially my dad, he was always like, look, you got this. If I asked him, like, if my dad asked me, what do you want to do? I'd be like, I want to make this much money. He'd be like, that's it?
Oh, yeah.
Come on, more. He always told me, do what you want. And even when I, you know, kind of low-key dropped out of school, they were like, okay, you can do it, just don't be a bum. Like, do what you want to do, follow your passion, and take it seriously. I started my channel when I was like 14 years old. Yeah.
You've been there for a minute.
I've been doing this for a long time. And they were there to support me. I know a lot of people, they were like, don't do that. Like, parents are like, no, like, that's not, whatever. That's not a real job. But they always believed in me, and they always pushed me to just go for it. But they just said, look, if you're going to do it, don't half-ass it.
Yeah.
Be consistent, stay up on it. And that belief definitely has helped me so much. Like, oh my God, if it wasn't for my mom and my dad growing up, I probably would not be here, like, literally doing this job.
No, I hear you.
Like, there was a point in my life when I was a kid, hated school. I was weird. Like, I had issues and stuff, but
What you mean? What do you mean?
I couldn't speak. Like, when I was a kid, I couldn't speak. I couldn't talk. I was always quiet. They literally thought something was wrong with me.
You just couldn't speak? Like, you
I just
wanted
didn't
to, or you were
speak.
just kind of scared? Like,
I was shy, extremely shy, and they thought literally like, oh, this girl, she got problems. Like, mentally, like the doctors and stuff, they were like, oh, she has problems, she's whatever. I just was super, super shy, super, super closed in. And I remember my dad was telling me like, oh, they were like gonna want to put you on meds and put you on drugs and all types of stuff. And but I just imagine like at that moment, my dad said, no way. Not my kid, not my daughter. She's fine. She's amazing. She's going to be fine. And he worked with me for like 7 months. He was just on my ass. And then after that, I was excelling. Like, I was just killing it. I just learned differently. My brain just operated differently than all the other kids. But from that moment, I'm like, dang, like, what if I didn't have my dad to push me?
And you would that whole entire path.
I would have just
telling yourself that you're this way, and eventually you're going to become that way. Like,
I would never have broken out of it. I literally speak for a living.
I see it. I see that happen, though, with people, like, when they get diagnosed with certain things. They just, they make it their reality, too, as well. Yeah.
I always loosely, when it comes to things, I'm very loose when it comes to my identity.
Yeah.
I allow my identity to be malleable.
I think where I messed up recently, when you hear about turning 25, people are like, your knees start to hurt, your legs start to hurt. I was hearing that so much.
Yeah.
When I turned 25, my knees and my legs started hurting.
Really?
I've never had any issues at all.
Really?
It was
like
in
your knees? Like you was
like my knee, like I haven't, like I played basketball like so much, like a lot since I turned 25. Like I think it was just myself getting in my own head about it. Yeah. So I've been telling myself a different narrative lately. Yeah. I've been praying about it, and my legs feel a lot better. Like it got so bad, like I turned 25 in February. Like I couldn't even like walk around the mall.
What?
Yeah, it was in my head though. Like yeah.
You got to be careful about what you identify with. I get in arguments with people to this day about that. Like they get diagnosed with something, or they have some type of like, I have ADD, so I have trouble with focusing. I can't do this because my parents told me I'm this way, and I grew up in this type of environment, and da 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 da. You have to like tread lightly when it comes to choosing what you identify with. Yeah. Because if you identify as a person who, I can't do this because of my mom said this, you're always going to be that person. At some point, you got to make a choice and say, who do I actually want to be? Yeah. And you get to a place where I believe that anyone can truly reinvent themselves. Yeah. What do you identify as? Like, who are you?
Exactly.
Who are you?
Yeah. I identify as just someone that's really caring and loving, hardworking, and I would say humble, hungry, and smart.
You said humble, hungry, and smart?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, tell me about that.
Yeah, I would say like a lot of my success over like the last few years has just been come from like, I don't only just like work smart, but I also like work hard at the same time. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, like if you keep on putting all your inputs, like all your energy into something and getting the same output, you gotta change the input. Yeah. Like what made you stop selling? You still sell those, like the crystals?
I do sometimes.
You still sell them? You ever start a business and stopped it?
Yeah.
What business would you start?
Kind of my crystal one.
The crystal one?
Yeah.
It's kind of different now,
Yeah, like I haven't completely turned it off.
Yeah. But I guess you were probably putting more energy into it back then, right? So I feel like, for example, I started like a lot of businesses, like e-commerce brands, and I tried a clothing brand. Everyone tried to start a clothing brand.
Tried everything.
Yeah, but if I kept on putting my input into that and like working really, really hard, then I'm gonna still get the same output. Yeah. So I started changing up my inputs. I'm like, I'm not gonna keep on doing parties and events. Like these other people are making crazy amount of money, and I can do this, I can do that. So I would say sometimes a lot of people, they just keep on putting the same input, trying to get a different output. Yeah. Gotta change the input.
I like that. Yeah. So just like to end things off, I want you to take a moment to think about like, what is your next level? Like, what does your next best self look like? What does your next level financially look like in your love life? Like, who is he? Who is that person that you're becoming?
What does that look like exactly?
What does it look like, feel like? What are you doing?
I would say traveling less.
Really, less?
Yeah. And just kind of, I've stopped doing a lot of stuff, like lately, like just doing less. So I can focus my attention on like the stuff that's giving me the biggest result. Yeah, because I do a lot. Yeah, we do a lot. Like I lead a pretty big team, like here in Tampa. But I would say it's just lately what I've been doing is like I haven't been focused as much like around like the revenue goals that we have as like a company, like the financial goals I have. It's really just me like becoming like the best version of myself, not only in like my health, but also like
ding.
It's loud. You never miss that, huh?
No.
But yeah, I would say like becoming my best version of myself in like all areas, not only like my health, but I mean not only my finances, but like my relationship, my health too as well. So that's what I've been really, really focused on.
Are you gonna have kids?
Yeah, I'm gonna have some kids.
Yeah? How many kids?
I want two.
Okay.
I want two. One for each hand. So it's good with me, but
Would you want twins?
Yeah, why not? That'd be easy.
Okay.
Well, not for her. It's up to her. Yes. I'm like, that'd be easy for me, But
Yeah.
Yeah. It's all up to her. Whatever she wants.
Okay.
She wants to have a big family, so.
I feel that. As an only child, I feel that. I'm like, I want to be able to have lots of kids.
Yeah, I remember you telling me only child.
Yes.
Yeah, I have one sister, but.
You have a, oh yeah, you do have a sister.
Yeah. But I feel like an only child. Yeah.
Why do you feel like an only child?
We grew up, we're like opposites. Like
Yeah.
me and her, like we're opposites. So she was always like on her type of time and my type of time.
Oh, you weren't like super close.
Yeah.
Why is that?
We used to be when we were like kids and stuff. But as we grown up, like not as much anymore. But that's why I said I want to like grow my relationship stronger. So I love my sister,
So really about the relationships, the connections. I know before you were talking about even fulfillment and like really connecting with yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've been laser focused, just trying to like get to these larger months. So you end up ignoring certain things like in your life. So now that I'm here, I'm like, I want to start focusing on like other areas in my life so I can get to the next level. Because I feel like that's the thing like holding me back.
And how much money?
Yeah, how much money?
How much money you trying to make?
I'm trying to get to like my first like $1 million month, like as a business.
Yeah.
That's like the current goal that we have. But I was talking to a buddy of mine. I went out to Houston, and he started his business in maybe March, and he's at $1 million a month right now.
Wow.
Now I don't try to compare myself to other people, but it kind of like opened my mind. This is kind of like why I dropped like the finance goals that I have.
Yeah.
Because like you never know like where you're gonna be like pretty quickly. Like things can be a whole switch. Like when I launched the previous business, we did 100K the first 30 days.
Wow.
So
yes.
sometimes like your goal is like, this is what my coach told me.
Yeah.
Because my new goal was it was like 350,000 a month.
Yeah.
And he was all like, well, what's the real goal? Like, what's the real goal? I told him, well, the real goal is $1 million. So this is like the one gym. I remember talking about this, but I was like, when you set your goal for your business, let's say your goal is like, I want to make $10,000 a month. I feel like everyone wants in their business, like, I want to make $10,000 a month. What happens is you make a business that could do $10,000 a month.
Exactly.
So when you get there, you have to like scratch everything and actually go towards your real goal. Right. So when I got to my first 100K month in this business, we had to scratch everything so we can get to our real goal, which is $1 million a month.
Yes.
Yeah, we had the operations and like the offer and like what we were doing was like, oh, we could do 100K a month.
And you need
cool.
$1 million a month people.
Yeah. And it's not
team.
working with 5 billion people. So we're looking to get like those 10 solid partnerships. That's
less is more.
Yes.
So I see consolidating, really getting to this place of ease, having really amazing systems, and making that $1 million a month, having more time for your family, for your relationship. Yeah, you're gonna be newly married. That's so exciting.
Stuff, and, I know you're looking for that husband.
Yes.
What are you looking for, like in a man? Like, what do you look for? Yeah. What is his like morals and his values have to be like?
Morals and values. Definitely somebody who's giving, has a good heart. I want like a sweetheart who's about his business.
Sweetheart about his business.
Yeah, like he's a sweetheart. He makes time, but he also does what he needs to do and shows up. And I think I get that from like looking at my parents' relationship too.
Oh yeah.
Like my dad was a hustler. He was a husband. My dad from New York. Like he's always been that type of person who's like, all right, I'm gonna go get it. Just somebody who's loving, kind, sweetheart. But also, like, he don't do what he need to do. Like,
I'm telling you, he's in the comments right now. You gotta check. You checking the comments? He's in there.
He in the comment section.
Yes, he's in there.
He may be on Instagram.
Yeah.
Shoot.
Yeah.
Listen, Anthony, you gotta. What's your friends looking like?
Nah.
Why you gonna say your friends like that?
Nah, the ones that are good, they're already in a relationship. The ones that aren't, like,
it'd be like that.
Yeah. I don't got that many, but I ain't gonna do you like that.
You know, they wildin'. Dang. Yeah, I think I also like entrepreneurial types too. I like the lifestyle and like the ability to just do what you want when you want energy. Because I've always been that way my whole life.
Y'all gotta be on the same page. Be like, I want to go on this trip he can't be like, well, I gotta
Gotta
request.
clock out.
Yeah, I gotta request.
Dude, I mean, it's like a thing, you know?
It is. There's nothing wrong with having a job, though.
Nothing wrong with having a job. It's just not something that I want for the rest of my life. I've personally never had a job.
Yeah.
I've literally been working since I was like 14, 13 online, like doing YouTube and social media stuff. So the only job I had was like Postmates and like doing that type of stuff.
I did some valet. I got fired though. I crashed the car, so that was my last one. Yeah.
You crashed somebody's car?
Yeah, it was at Four Seasons. I was
Why
in Atlanta.
you crashing somebody's car?
Yeah, I was texting and driving. Yeah, I was like, really, it was my fault.
So what did they do?
They just took his insurance. They fired me. That's all. Yeah, I'd have to pay for it, but
Wow.
yeah.
Is that the only job you did?
No, I worked Dillard's, like in the kids' shoe section. Oh my god, that was crazy. And then I worked for like a marketing agency too as well. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, so you had a little bit of exposure to that.
I've had like the most random jobs. I worked for a life coach too.
Really?
Yeah. I worked for like craziest random jobs.
So you were kind of always supposed to go where you needed to go. Do you believe in destiny? Like, do you believe that certain people were just meant to do certain things and others just not?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I can see that. Yeah, I can see that.
Why is that?
Yeah. I mean, at the same time, I've seen people like completely make a pivot, but
Yeah.
it's a tricky one.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think certain people got it like that. Certain people have, especially for an entrepreneur,
Yeah.
a lot of the times you have to have a certain level of, oh yeah, like I was having a conversation and I was like, this girl, she was talking about how she was looking for jobs and she just needed, X, Y, and Z. And she got offered a large sum of money if she were to say, she got deferred.
Yep.
So she was going to work later, but they were like, okay, we'll give you some money in the meanwhile. If you spend it and you don't work with us, you have to give it back.
Oh, that's a setup.
But I'm like, she's sitting there talking about, oh, I need to get a job. I'm like, whatever. I'm like, girl, so somebody want to give you like almost 20, 30K and you worried about getting a job and not like flipping the money?
Yeah, you got it right then. Yeah.
And then I tried to bring it up, like, do you have any skills? And she's like, oh. It's like, no. Like, she wouldn't even let it penetrate her mind, the idea that she could even do something like that.
Do something with it. And that's the thing. A lot of times people, they think it's the money that's holding them back. Like, if I had 30,000, had this money, like, they think it's the money holding them back. And they get money, they don't know what to do with it.
It's you. And I feel like some people are predisposed to go that direction, to think to themselves, like, okay, I can be successful. I can do certain things.
Yeah.
Like, they have a vision for themselves.
You got to figure it out. Like, I was working with this guy, and, like, we needed him to, like, get a camera or something, and he just couldn't afford it. And I'm like, bro, like, just figure it out.
Yeah.
Like, if you really need a camera, like, you knew, like, what I could put you onto.
Yeah.
Like, you would figure out how to get a camera.
You'd be
Like,
resourceful.
there's no way I don't got any money. I'm like, all right, that's what you're going to do.
Yeah.
You're going to go to Best Buy, right?
Yeah.
You're going to get the camera on a credit card in Best Buy.
Yeah.
You're going to shoot the video, and then you're going to return the camera. Boom,
Yeah.
you figured it out.
But that's the mindset of an
Yeah.
entrepreneur. It's common sense for us, but other people, it's really not.
Yeah.
So leave the people with some last words of advice, anything you want to say, anything that's on your heart.
I would say, first, you really gotta imagine first. Like, imagine yourself being in the situation you really want to be in. Once you imagine it, you gotta completely believe that it's possible, and then you'll be able to achieve it.
Very Pisces.
So, yeah.
Imagination. Okay, y'all. But that was the Bad Girl Podcast with Mr. Anthony Carter. Amazing person right here. Definitely so go support him. Check out all the things that he does. Follow him on Instagram. Work with him. Whatever the case is, he'll be linked down below and obviously right here on the screen. Thank you for coming and joining us here.
Yes. Appreciate it. Let's go.
And let's go. Y'all have a great day. Subscribe to the channel. And just letting you know, this episode was brought to you by Rich Goddess Club, my club for goddesses who are looking to upgrade their life financially, spiritually, emotionally, all the things, classes, courses, and community to help you elevate. So subscribe to the Rich Goddess Club down below, and we'll talk to you guys soon.
Peace.